Ferrari, they're on a roll. The changes they have made on their cars are brilliant. It looks like they have the fastest cars on the grid nowadays. Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz have been placing back-to-back in the first few races of the 2022 Formula One season. Now, we all know that Ferrari, they're a big team. Just hearing their name is actually intimidating already. All teams have conceded already, even though it's just the start of the season. Says Ferrari currently have the best engine on the 2022 Formula One grid. Ex-Ferrari superstar Fernando Alonso believes that Ferrari has the fastest car. After years of struggling, they have finally returned to the front and they are planning on staying there. The two current race drivers, they've been taking the pole position, the fastest lap and a 1-2. The new regulations have definitely benefited them, unlike other teams. They don't want to give up too. We need to keep pushing, because it's not like Max was slow in the straights at all, or the Mercs, said Sainz, so we need to keep pushing on that front. If the team wants to win its first Drivers' Championship since 2007, it will need either Leclerc or Sainz to be a match for Verstappen over 23 races. It looks like this is all in Ferrari's favour though, as Red Bull is struggling to keep up. Can Ferrari fight for the title? They really have to give everything this time. They have spent the past 2 years in the midfield already, and they should never look back. Reigning champion Max Verstappen is having the hardest time getting points on the grid, but Max is still there directly behind the Ferrari boys almost all the time. On the first two overtakes, I knew he was going to try something, so I wasn't surprised, Leclerc said. It's just unfortunate that his car had technical problems in the 3 races, making him DNF in the first and the last one. He can still be the champion this year too, without a doubt. Max is noticeably having a hard time this season. Maybe the pressure of being the world champion is getting to him. It could also be Red Bull's fault, as the team had a double retirement during the first race of the season. Yikes! It's said that the main issues of the cars were related to the fuel system. Max even pointed out that he could smell some fluid. Can Red Bull fix this and proceed to compete for real? We hope so, because let's face it, we're all watching this for the drama. We can all recall that Max was butting heads with Leclerc in the Australian Grand Prix, but because of mechanical failure, he was forced to retire. That's another chance lost to reclaim the world title for him. Charles Leclerc held the edge over Max Verstappen over that first race in Bahrain. He had the race under control even before Perez and Verstappen's double retirement, which sucked for Red Bull. But of course, Carlos Sainz in the top 3 meant more points too. We already know that Charles Leclerc won the Bahrain Grand Prix, and Ferrari had an amazing 1-2 that time since the 2 drivers of Red Bull sadly retired. Verstappen kept attempting to overtake Leclerc, but to no avail. Hamilton was right on Perez's tail, but then he had to retire too, making the latter finish 3rd. Good for him. For the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, at least Verstappen took first place again. Well deserved for a world champion, and it looked like he and Charles were just playing and chasing with each other the whole time. In the end, Ferrari still finished with more points as the 2 drivers finished 2nd and 3rd. Unfortunately, the Australian Grand Prix was not in Max Verstappen's favour again. At least Perez finished 2nd behind Leclerc this time, and Red Bull hopes to find a fix in time for the next race. You see, it's just the 3 teams taking the podium repeatedly. Mercedes, Red Bull and Ferrari are confirmed as the top 3 teams to look out for after the test in Barcelona. But during the race itself, it looks like Ferrari is first, Red Bull directly behind them, while Mercedes is all the way at mid, maybe at the bottom sometimes. They were one of the teams that got hit badly by the cost cap. But don't rule out Mercedes just yet. They can still overtake Ferrari and Red Bull. It's just the start of the season anyway. So many things can still change. This is the first time Lewis Hamilton hasn't led a race in a long time, and he is hungry for more. The Mercedes rookie, George Russell, seems to be doing better than the world champion, although he hasn't finished on the podium too. The two drivers believe that their team is doing everything they can to be back on top. Baby steps, as they would say. They should move faster because failing to make progress means saying goodbye to being champion and maybe even lose the constructors' title to Ferrari, who keeps going 1-2, 1-2. But let's face it, we've also missed McLaren being on top. They did great in Barcelona, but seemed awfully quiet afterwards. They just made a big bust when they went into Australia, where Daniel Ricciardo seemed most excited. Norris and Ricciardo finished P5 and P6 respectively, finally giving points to their team. Haas is also showing its true colours nowadays. With the cost gap, they are here to claim their position in midfield again. Now that they have Kevin Magnussen again, they can quite clearly out-qualify most of the drivers. Magnussen finished P5 in Bahrain, which was a big surprise for the team. There is more drama to surprise us this season, I bet. I just wonder if any other team can compete with Ferrari these days. They're like gods on the road, finally claiming back their title. What are your thoughts on Ferrari this season? Let us know in the comments below, and if you like what you've seen, please feel free to subscribe to the channel to see what we post next.